shorten up our planning board dissertation, unless you want me to read it word for word.
No, I've got it right here, go ahead.
So, basically, any person wishing to speak at this public hearing will be given an opportunity to do so in accordance with the following procedures. It has to pertain to the scope of our public hearing. Presentation is first done by the applicant, questions from the board and staff and any town consultants, testimony and questions by members of the public. There is rebuttal if it's needed, and then closing statements by the applicant. We typically start out with the CEO on the proposal with details, and then we go into questions from the board, and then when that's completed, we close the public hearing. So basically, everything that we've seen is yours to see, ask questions. We have all seen their presentation, and but for the public hearing, they will go through it and answer any questions that anyone from the public has. And once the question period is over, we'll close the public hearing. So this is kind of, it's a review for us, but it's the public's first chance to see it. And then basically, our regular agenda is printed, should be in front of you. Anybody who speaks is asked to, one, you have to be recognized, but give your name, and we typically do not have to limit speaking, but it does have to be about an agenda item, and most of our meetings are very, blasé and to the point, but we have the right to cut off if it's starting to get antagonistic or anything like that. So the board votes on merits of each project. It will also prepare written findings of fact. Since a written finding of facts may substantially affect any appeal rights, and also as a matter of courtesy, the board asks that those attending the meeting with regards to a specific project not leave until the board has taken a second vote and adopted the findings. Anything that we have is can be found on in the town office, and I guess at this point we will proceed to adopt our agenda.
Make motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second that.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Unanimous?
We make a motion to adopt the minutes from last week with the exception, we had made a vote on the public hearing, public speak, like if I could give the chance to the public to speak. We should probably put that in the minutes. Remember we made a vote for, right there, like public comments. So,
Like a non-agenda item?
It also has me listed as present, and I wasn't here at the last meeting, so.
right, we had held a vote on adding that to the minutes.
Just in
on
spirit
on the agenda, right there.
Right.
Other business,
Just in
public
spirit.
comment.
Just in
Yeah.
spirit, yeah.
Just so that we can have that on there, and that, I believe the vote was unanimous. on
I was
that,
still
so
looking at
it's
the
a
fire suppression systems at the high school.
Yeah.
I was correct about that, right? It was on other business, we had put the public comment section, we had a unanimous vote on that one. Good.
My memory's not that great.
I made the motion, so I remember it. It was right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it was a 5-0 vote, it was a 5-0 vote, so.
Yeah.
With that, with those changes, I move to adopt the minutes.
I'll second that.
Any other comments? All those in favor?
Oh,
Abstentions?
abstentions.
2 abstentions. Okay, so, moving on to, back to our agenda. Public hearing is scheduled for tonight with the wall rebuilding or restructuring. And I guess Gary, if you want to give a short description, you can at this point.
Sure.
few weeks ago, the first presentation they did was excellent. They gave us a rundown. There's going to be a railing along the water for safety reasons. Shrubbery, which Kate sent the landscaping diagram, yeah, and plan the other day, and that's in everybody's packages. So it looks like it's going to be a spring project, at least at the beginning of it. I'm not sure how long the project is going to be for. Yeah, and it seems like they're not going to have to do much to the road, because they're going to pick up all the basin drain pipes on the opposite side of the road, which will make it easier for residents.
You say so?
Essentially, packing up sardines, and I see people aren't here, so I just moved over.
Yeah, and it seems like that, I'm not sure what the schedule is.
For construction?
Yes.
We gotta get a bid, yeah.
So we're looking for permit approvals, over the course of this month so that we can have everything in place for construction funding.
Yes,
Um,
and the bids will probably go out in January, or?
As soon as we can after that.
Yeah.
And then some of the construction will depend, if you remember the last time we spoke, there was some interest in trying to phase some of the work. And as we build out the bid package and the schedule, we'll work with the town on that. I think one of the criteria was that the portion with parking would be completed, I think by June. And then the other portion will be completed sometime during the summer, but not to interfere with the Blueberry Festival at the beginning of August.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's not finalized, but that's kind of what we had talked about last week and what we'll work with the town on through developing the construction and bid package. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any comments before we get started from the board? Then I think it's appropriate to let you guys go through your presentation, and then we'll field questions from there.
Good evening, my name is Kate Tillis. I work for C.B. and Mahar Engineers, and we're working with the town of Wilton for the Wilson Lake Retaining Wall project. So, the existing conditions, it's a 0.67 acre parcel. It's within the limited residential and recreational zone. It's owned by the town, and its current use is recreational. The entire parcel is within the 75-foot Maine Department of Environmental Protection Services natural resource setback. It's also located within the FEMA Zone AE, which is a high-risk flood zone. The existing lakefront is stabilized by a combination of rock and concrete retaining walls. The rock retaining wall is off to the west and it's in disrepair, and erosion is happening along the embankment adjacent to the pump house. There is current beach access. There's a set of metal stairs at the east end of the concrete retaining wall. There's also concrete and granite steps to the west end of the concrete retaining wall, and there's also paved walkway down to the water as well. And there's an existing gravel parking area that patrons can use to access the space. So as mentioned here, here's the rock wall section that is in disrepair. Here's the concrete retaining wall, which will remain. Based on conversations with the planning board last meeting, we've decided to keep this paved access for the beach, so people can access it without having to use the stairs. We'll also be removing and replacing the storm drains that outlet through the retaining wall, so that we can tie our proposed storm treatment systems into it, as well as repairing some of the damaged catch basins and the pipes that are already in disrepair as well. So our proposed work is to stabilize approximately 380 linear feet of the embankment behind the existing rock wall. What's what is proposed is that we're gonna excavate behind the rock wall to about approximately elevation 569. The top of the rock wall currently is at 572. And then we're gonna slope back with riprap at a 2-to-1 slope to elevation of 572, which is what the existing retaining wall is at now. And then from 572 up to the existing grade at the lake road will be vegetated slope at a 2-to-1 slope. Once the shoreline has been stabilized, we'll remove an upper portion of the rock wall to match down into the toe of embankment, so the top of the retaining wall will be brought down to elevation 569, and that'll act as like a retaining structure to hold back the slope a little bit and will remain in place. We're also proposing an installation of a 5-foot wide paved sidewalk. We'll be including parking lot upgrades, which will total 18 total parking spaces. And we'll be replacing the 2 existing stairs with precast concrete steps. We'll be providing stormwater treatment through a Filterra tree box, and in the parking lot, we'll actually be doing pervious pavers, which we'll get into in a little bit. And then some landscaping is proposed. So here's the site plan, as I mentioned. We'll have riprap up to elevation 572, and then the rest will be vegetated. This area is gonna be reconstructed so that that Public Works can get trucks into here to access their pump station. There's a walkway along Lake Road. There's gonna be curbing in there so that cars can't just drive up into the walkway. There's the tree box filter here, so what that will do is all the surface runoff water coming from the lake road will go into this this filter system, which will filter the water before tying into the existing storm drain here and then outletting there. We'll be upgrading the existing walkway here, establishing a clear defined path here, and adding improving the crosswalk and matching in the sidewalk here to match into the existing beach access. Replacing the stairs at this location and then adding the stairs at this location. Currently, they sit right about here. And then here's our paved parking area with the pervious pavers. Alright, so for our shoreline stabilization details, here's our first cross section. This is where the concrete retaining wall is. We'll have the handrail on top of the concrete, a 6-foot wide walking path with vegetated slope to a curb. As I mentioned, here's the new parking area with the pervious pavers and a filter system. There's an under drain that runs out and will daylight into the existing outlet here. And a portion of it will just be paved parking. And then the other section is the section between where the retaining wall is and just the walk path area. And as we mentioned, we'll riprap at a 2-to-1 slope, and we're going down deep enough and wide enough that in the event this section ever failed, because it is in disrepair, it will even itself out and remain a stabilized slope with a 2-to-1 vegetated area. And then here is your paved parking location. And as I mentioned, we'll be removing this upper portion here of the retaining rock wall. Our last cross section is up by where the pump house will be, or where the pump house exists, and here's where the paved walking path and the drive will be. There's gonna be some stone benches provided for people to sit along the waterway. Again, the 2-to-1 slope for vegetation, our riprap, and then once this is all stabilized, the portion of the rock wall that will be removed. Once all this is stabilized, we'll have a landscape planting plan. They'll be planting natural native plants and shrubs in the area. There won't be any tall trees to block the views from the residents. They'll all be shrubbery. We'll be working for the filter box with our landscape architect to make sure that the tree height doesn't block anyone's view as well in that area.
Can you show us, I don't recall in the first presentation talking about the stone benches. Can you show us roughly where they're gonna be located?
They're gonna be right up in here,
Okay.
right along this side, so it'll be act kind of as a curb stop, but a bench as well.
Yep.
The landscape architect actually called it a seating wall.
Yeah, a seating
So
wall.
it's gonna be a continuous stone,
Yep.
you know, about so high along the edge that will kind of break up that sight line a little bit
Yeah.
and provide a place for people to sit.
And protects from the car.
Yeah.
The car wouldn't go down and then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, the permits required for this project is a United States Army Corps of Engineers General Permit Section 3 for maintenance. The maintenance portion is just to be able to replace the stairs and modify the retaining rock wall. Prior to, we had proposed doing all the way riprap, but as we discussed at the previous planning board meeting, Army Corps was going to ask for a lot of in lieu fees to be working in water, so we're keeping all this work within the upland now.
Yep.
And then the other permit that's gonna be required is a Maine Department of Environmental Protection permit by rule, section 4 for structures, and this is just to put the stairwell into the below high water mark, which will result in about 20 square feet of direct wetland impacts. The last a little bit here is, we talked about ADA accessibility. We're going to maintain the existing paved ramp to the beach access. This is currently not an ADA standard as well, like it's too steep to meet ADA requirements, but it is already currently provided. We have an option to work with the town and contractor during construction and the select board for potentially like an aluminum temporary gangway during the season. Yeah, during the swim season. Public entities are not required to make every facility fully accessible, so since this is sort of a park, we must ensure that our overall program, services, and activities are accessible to the individuals, and that they can view it within their entirety. So we're not required to modify the terrain to provide a ramp to the beach, but we are required to provide parking and walking paths. And there is, it was entitled to the American Disability Act. I just wanted to address that because that was a big conversation we had last.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just wanted to, make sure that we did our homework.
Yep.
Great.
So now we'll open it up to questions.
Yes, Pete.
Okay, 'cause when I was going down, you know, this is a big concern of mine, like the current steps that go in, right, they're pretty wide. You know what I mean, and like, a lot of people struggle, like getting down or getting up because of how far apart, you know, you've seen how far apart the handrail. Now, something like that, they do precast, right, okay, couldn't you possibly modify the precast to make it so it'd be something with a rail down the middle of it?
Yep.
And then one side could have the stairs, and the other side could be sloped, without calling it a ramp, it could just be sloped, right? Isn't that a possibility?
No.
It's gonna be a pretty
Pretty
damn
wide, I
steep
mean, I
slope.
think with how wide it is.
It'd be too steep.
The issue is that when you, so your standard tread length and rise.
Yep.
By the time you convert that to a ramp, it doesn't meet ADA requirements for ramps are 1 in 12.
Right. Might be for a skateboard.
Yeah, right.
Well, right, but for,
Well, much different, they don't make anything like that, that would be similar to that?
so
or-
it just, we can't get it flat enough in the amount of run that we have,
Okay.
which is why we looked at that, and we can certainly, like I said, we're planning on replacing the stairs with something with a new rail and
Because
some
if you watch
letter
people,
bit
they got,
condition.
might be, you know, they're walking down with like sidestepping, holding it,
Yeah.
and where it's so
Absolutely.
high up like that, the kids have a hard time, so that's been my main
Well,
focus.
what's gonna help with this too is these are gonna be more of a standard, the treads that are there right now are longer.
Yeah.
So it's not like a regular step coming up, it's a step and then shuffle and
Yeah.
then up.
Keith, which one are you talking about, the aluminum one?
No, I'm talking about the big concrete
The
one.
aluminum one is definitely kinda hard and shit.
Yeah.
It is
No, I'm
made
talking
for
about the big
the
ones,
big,
wide.
yeah, granite
So
ones.
if you can picture, and which is why,
And that tires the part right to the left of it, if I was looking down it, that's kind of, and that would be You know, the rail was like kind of in the where,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That
Yep.
So, that paved section, 3 foot wide going
Yeah.
down to the left, just for frame of reference, that is even too steep.
Oh, absolutely.
For ADA,
Yeah.
ADA ramp wise, but what we didn't want to do is even though we're technically not required
Mhm.
to provide access, we wanted to maintain what was there.
Mhm.
So we're gonna cut, match, saw cut, make sure it all blends in nice. We can certainly work with the town through the development of the construction set.
Mhm.
If they wanted to add a rail, or if they wanted to do something like that, but I know there are other considerations here too, you know, as far as construction cost and other things.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
There's lots of stuff that comes into play here, so it's something that we did want to acknowledge, and we certainly don't want to make it any worse than what it is right now. And if there are adjustments that the town wants to make moving forward, then we can pick those up in the construction drawings.
Yeah, just because like where it's so wide, there could be like, leave out the ramp part, there could be, they do make, where you have like up and down with
Yes.
the rail down the middle, which would
Mhm.
make it so somebody, I'm not really looking to make people like on wheelchairs or whatever.
Yeah, but
Whatever I'm
like,
saying.
make it a 3 foot wide versus like a 6 foot wide.
Right, 'cause that
Yeah.
thing's giant, enormous.
Yep,
Just something that I really wanted to address, 'cause-
sure.
And as I had mentioned in the previous slide too, we can work with the town if they would like to improve that area a little bit more. One option that we do a lot with other people, we just worked with another town on this, is there's these aluminum gangways. We just provide the ramp, the like landing base for it, and you put the ramp up there and it stays in the water for the season, and at the end of the season, you just pull it right back out. So that's always an option as well that the town can discuss, and we could put that into our construction drawings as well, but that would be a town decision and
Oh,
not
yeah.
a decision that we can make ourselves.
Perfect, thanks for that.
Yep.
Yes, sir, Mr.
Now, you said there was going to be a, some type of handrail that went along. Okay. Why?
Safety reasons, you have to provide, when there is a certain amount of drop, you have to provide a railing to protect so that people can't fall over off the edge. And I know we talked about this at the last round,
Last
I know
time
it's
it came up
called in
pretty good.
before, but because we are doing site improvements, that is a requirement we have to meet.
What are you using for materials? If you look at the iron type ones around town, they rust, they look like poo. So that would be something that we would, you know, if they're permanently in there, you're gonna have to have somebody come out, cut them off, weld them on, all sorts of things. And my other thing is, who's gonna monitor people not getting on those rails and jumping into the water? So they went from a 3 foot drop to a 6, 7 foot drop. I'm just saying.
Platform.
I mean, you know, it's just one of those things, I'm just saying. So the
But like
rail.
I said, they're required.
Right, right.
You know,
So
if we didn't
it's
touch
fall
it,
hazard,
Yeah.
so we need to put a.
Well, I understand OSHA,
Yeah.
they have regulations, you know, technically they should be tied off or whatever, but if it's above so many inches.
Oh, yeah, you can't control people from doing what they do.
But what are we using for material?
So that was gonna be a welded pipe, rail.
Iron pipe.
We had talked about, well, it's gonna have an epoxy paint coating and that sort of thing, so, originally it was gonna be stainless. The cost was a driver there that, we switched that back to pipe.
Okay.
is it just a single rail or does it have a mid-rail?
No, it's got a mid-rail too.
Okay.
There's also a kick plate,
No.
because technically, kick plate.
So, so yeah,
According to
so we're
OSHA.
gonna have, right, so we're gonna have, the kick plate's gonna be the top of the wall, I think we've got, we're showing recessed.
There's a
on.
cross section of it in your packet,
Yeah,
where you got a socket in the concrete, and galvanized steel,
We did a section through it.
and it drops in there like that.
Town would be responsible for moving any soil from the road that to maintain the buffer sizing of the kick plate, just to let you know.
Yeah, it's like recessed like an inch, I think, from the top
Sheet
of that wall.
metal.
It's not shown very well on this drawing here, but it is like an inch or two.
so there are options here too, as we
Bottom of
convert
sheet
construction,
metal
this is a
one.
permitting set, right? We haven't finalized the details of how that's going into the wall. It's not gonna be, you know, whether it's cored and grouted in versus something with anchors versus a plate that's then anchored and bolted. So if there are maintenance considerations that the town has they would like us to include in that detail, and we can certainly do that, yep.
Yeah, because upkeep's gonna be the problem eventually for somebody.
Any other questions from the board? Anything from the public? Yes, Nancy?
So can you put spikes on that first level so the kids can't climb up to the top? Because I'm gonna tell you,
Electrify it, we were
something,
thinking.
okay, because I watched them jump off the bridge that they're not supposed to jump off of either. Okay.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good about it.
Well,
Wait until
were
they
pretty
get
bad
enough
this
water.
summer. They were not good this summer. So, an engineering, mining engineer has asked this, who lives on the lake, he can't be here tonight. Has there been a hydrodynamic study done? And how will that wave energy affect? He feels that the older section has been fine with the waves, but the new section has reflected the waves, that they come off at an angle when the wind is blowing. And he says the sailors call it a confused sea. And he said it's very dangerous and he's almost drowned swimming there. So has anybody done that kind of evaluation?
Take this, you want me to?
We did do a wave fetch calculation when we designed the riprap for the slope itself. The fetch was about 3 miles from open water to the next source of land. So we have designed the project where we're stabilizing the shoreline to account for the wave action.
Okay, super, he'll be so happy. Okay, because he doesn't think the wall needs to be redone, but that back needs to be done. Okay, then my next question is, and I know this is gonna drive everybody nuts, but I drive down there enough, I live near there, and I also ride my bike through there, and I'm afraid some kid's gonna get killed because of the road going through. And I'm wondering if we can readjust the road to go up, is that Gilbert Street, go through the parking lot and go back down the other side, and then have the space in front of the lake, just park, not, so there's no real road in front of the park.
Oh, right here, you're talking about the sidewalk here?
No. She's
Down,
talking about
down there,
this
yeah.
road, this road
Oh.
here. Instead of, I think what she's saying is, if
Block
we
that.
directed traffic up this way through the parking lot and then back down, and have this like a green space.
Yeah, that's outside the scope of this project. I mean,
Okay.
this is just a shoreline stabilization. What we did do is we added the sidewalk and the curbing for pedestrian access and protection, because we were able to tie that into the shoreline work. But any sort of traffic movement outside of the parking is,
So will that parking lot be deeper, or is the lake park, the part in the front where you can walk, is that gonna be wider and that the cars are getting back farther?
well, that's why we angled the parking, so that we could keep everything outside of the existing travelway and outside the existing shoulder.
Okay, so.
Yep,
Okay, so how many cars can fit in there now?
18.
18, and there'll be 18 in there then?
Oh, as far as now, it's more than 18 probably now.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were working through this with the select board initially, this was the number that we
Okay.
came to. There were quite a few iterations of parking and configuration and numbers, and this was what we had arrived on with the town.
Yeah, because right now, people will park all the way down to where they're showing their new walkway
Yeah,
and almost to the granite steps.
yeah.
You know, yeah.
Even before that, yeah. Not much though.
Well, no, not all the way to the granite steps, but they're getting within a couple car,
Yeah.
couple car widths.
And that's gonna be blocked now, so they can't.
Right, yes, it'll be curbed,
Yep.
that parking area is kind of set down in to kind of protect, again, the pedestrian walkway, gives space and access for the pedestrians and the patrons to use the area as a park and not just a huge parking lot.
And it has the added benefit of us being able to direct and control the stormwater runoff. It gives us something to run up against,
Yeah.
so that we can then bring it where we want to with the tree box filter and
Do the pavers that, do they come pre-lined, or is that something that the town, you've got parking spaces? Is that?
You paint on top.
You paint on top? I didn't know if that was allowed, or
No.
it takes away the efficiency.
No, and only part of that is the pavers, so the part closest to,
The road,
closest to the
yeah.
lake
Yeah,
is pavers and then after we achieve a certain filter area, then it's pavement back to the road.
Okay.
Yep.
And we thought putting the pervious pavers closer to the lake was more beneficial, because then we don't have to worry about regular traffic or anything impacting the pervious pavers, as we
Yep.
talked about the maintenance prior to.
Rob, anything? Yeah.
I have 3 questions. Before I do that,
Can you introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Nancy Indian about.
I'm Rob Rogers. That's Nancy Allen. He lives in Wilton. I live in Chesterville, but I'm here on behalf of the Friends of Wilson Lake tonight. Once work is underway on this project, what is the role of Sevi Mahar during the construction phase? Do you still provide oversight and?
Yes, we do provide construction oversight. We'll be on site every day that they're doing the stormwater treatment. It's required by Maine DEP that a licensed third-party inspector is on site, making sure that that's being installed correctly. And then we'll do periodic site visits once a week most of the time, or after a large storm event. We'll come in and just check to make sure that all of the erosion control measures are in place, and if there's any failings or areas of erosion, we can address with the contractor at the time to protect the lake.
Great, thank you. Again, once things are underway, what type of oversight or reporting is involved for DEP or the Army Corps? What
So
are
a
the
lot
op-
of what she talked about was what is required, even though, this project is not big enough to require stormwater permitting with DEP. It is triggering NERPA permitting being so close to the resource. But we are approaching this as then we are adding stormwater treatment features here to protect the lake, right? So as Kate had mentioned, as part of this, there are certain periods where we have to come in and things we have to observe. So that's part of the schedule that we've kind of outlined with the town already. And then through construction, it'll be kind of preset intervals when we come in.
Great, so I guess specifically the question looks at reporting. Do you report to DEP or the Army Corps during the project, at the end of the project? What's required there?
At the end of the project, we will file reports with them about the pervious pavers and the Filterra tree box to show that we're meeting the best management practices with Maine DEP. And then we'll also provide them like their ongoing maintenance plan. And then I believe it's every 5 years they'll have to do a recertification of the pervious pavers.
Typically, yeah.
So every 5 years, DEP will come and check to make sure that the system is still functioning and working properly. But with Army Corps, once it's done, we just send in the final drawings and photos of the completed project so that they're able to file it into their
So
system.
will you update these to as-built plans?
Yes, so all of this is just our permitting set. When we move to the construction phase, it'll have a little bit more detail. It'll outline specific features that need to be, like specs for it. Like, it'll be this type of steel or this concrete from this manufacturer or equal. So everything will be detailed out into the plan set of what is going to be required from our contractors, so that when they go bid on it, they know everyone's bidding on equal playing field.
So with regard to as-bills?
As-built.
So with
Yeah.
regard to as-bills, there are a couple of different ways to approach that. And what we typically do is outline in the project spec that the contractor is required to keep red lines for anything that changes through construction. And there's, from there, depending on pricing and what the town wants to do, those are either provided to the town as hard copy red lines. What we have done in the past, there are owners who have wanted those in electronic format, which can range for everything from, providing a scanned copy to the town, to entering and updating the CAD files and the project drawings with the contractor red lines. We haven't worked through those details with the town yet, but I mean, certainly whatever they want, we can provide.
And the as-bills do get forwarded on to Army Corps as well, as part of their conditions of approval.
Great,
And
thank you.
I'll outline this too, that DEP is going through some changes right now with their permitting and with their reporting in terms of, they're going all online. They've got a system they call MELS, that we submit all the permits electronically now, as opposed to hard copies. And at the completion of the project, as part of that, we'll file a notice of termination with DEP, also through that MELS site. So whatever they need or want as part of that closeout for the PBR, we'll provide.
Do you expect to see DEP on site at all during construction?
No. I think they're way too short-staffed right now. They're trying to keep up with all the permit applications.
So the oversight is your domain, really?
And we're licensed or certified through Maine DEP to be able to provide that service.
Erosion sediment control inspection, that sort of thing. I would like to be clear too, that, I mean, what we had talked about initially was it's not full-time construction observation.
Right.
You know, we're not gonna be here every hour that the contractor's here. They're gonna be scheduled visits at certain points through the construction, just to make sure that they're kind of hitting checkpoints. So I just don't want to mislead you and
Except for
have
the
you think that.
the under drain work and the filter pad, you will be.
Yes, you have to be here
Right,
for the day.
right.
But those will be about a day and a half, so we'll be on site for just that short period of time. Those go in pretty quickly.
Projects I do, it always takes 3 times longer than I think.
They can, yeah.
A day and a half might be a week.
Well, it'll depend on the contractor that wins the bid.
Better not be me. Last question, thank you for that. Do you expect the contractor will use the Canal Street parking area for a yard for parking or materials and lay down?
Maybe. That's another thing that we're going to work through with constructions and phasing and that sort of thing. You know, and we're gonna wind up working through that with the town and with Public Works in terms of what areas would be available for lay-down material storage, that sort of thing.
Equipment?
You know, because it's not, you know, it's not the Wild West. They just can't put stuff wherever they want. They can't fill up Bass Park if, you know, the town doesn't say they
We talked
can.
about it last time too, we said, you know, they actually Bass Park parking, you know, the gravel one, doesn't get used all that much, and there was gonna be trying to be a window, right, where the area will be left alone, certainly around Blueberry Fest, right? So we'd hope for like July,
Yeah,
through into middle or end of August.
Yeah, we talked about phasing last meeting where this construction would start in the spring and we would finish July 1st. The first phasing was gonna be from pretty much this stair over to the other stair, so that we would get the parking, the beach access for the 4th of July, and then we'd be able to move to the next section, which is just the stabilization and putting in the rest of this walkway, and hoping to try to get it finished up before Blueberry Festival. If not, we'll have construction halts during Blueberry Festival and then continue afterwards.
And it would be safe for the
Right.
Blueberry
Yep.
Festival.
And it would be safe, yep.
And again, just to be, I hate to keep going back to a lot of this stuff hasn't been, you know, kind of finalized and figured out, but there are, I know that there are some funding opportunities that the town is gonna be working through to fund this work, so, construction schedule is gonna be dependent in part on that too. When monies are available and that sort of thing. The schedule that we're working on right now is to try to get this designed and permitted so that we can then move forward with the application for some of this other funding. So depending on those results, you know, there may be some variation in that schedule, but I think what Kate has explained is what we're hoping for now.
Go ahead, Rob.
Thanks, Mike. Kate, if you could touch on the elevations again, like on the section for the excavation for the riprap was top of the existing wall is 569 and you're excavating to
Yeah, so the top of our existing rock wall is at 572.
572?
We're gonna, behind the rock wall, we're gonna excavate down to elevation 569. And then we're gonna riprap the slope back up to elevation
Section 4.
572.
And the road is at what?
It varies, the road varies for,
Okay.
um,
So the upper height is 572.
the upper part of the rock wall was 572 where the riprap will end, and then the vegetation will slope up. In this case, this one slopes up to almost 583.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to
See,
close.
yeah,
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
any other comments? All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Yes. I think we will, but I don't think we'll do it tonight, will we? Or you want
At
to?
the end of the year, the
Yes, I think we should go
time,
through
the
it.
Okay.
timing is,
I
yeah.
don't have one in my packet.
I'll go up and make some copies.
Make a good one and get one.
I'll be back.
I got an old one, but somebody had first stuff on, and not be, think about it.
Geez, we don't have our normal, Dr. Parker and Kyle, but whip these out.
It's usually the keeper of that sort
The
of
wording,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll refer to our English Smith over there.
He's our own internal chat GPT.
My phone's in the car.
Dr. Parker speaks like, you know, when you're dictating notes, there's a period, and then keep going.
Well, doctors do audio now, they
Yeah.
write it down, they have a period and a period, yeah.
Never guys that would do that, the old dictaphones and
Yeah.
meters, I mean, remember. It's kind of crazy to think about it now,
Yep. It is electronic.
but.
Carbon copy.
Kyle, welcome.
I made it. Parker here.
Come right here, sit down.
I took your
Yeah,
spot.
we're done with these
Yeah,
mistakes.
right.
Oh, we need it.
You're gonna be busy.
Oh, okay.
Getting ready to go
Do
through
the
findings of facts.
Perfect. I'm ready.
With you and Mike out, I was like, oh, the Mike.
Mainly,
School
like,
intact.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Basketball game, second place in the basketball game.
Priorities, so yeah.
That coach's team, second.
Okay.
Bring that part up when we get.
You're just getting started.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I was at that
That's-
too,
that's
for, I mean,
Is that-
from pre-K up through right to high school.
I just got done with football
Yep.
and basketball.
Where you going to
What's that?
I saw you there, we'll fight through myself.
Yeah,
On either side.
Sally and the kids.
This isn't sure.
Oh my
Scale, 3 seconds. And that's why I got to do two steps from this one, right? Like,
That's why I was in the rec department for 30 years.
There you go, whether you wanted to be or not, right?
Yeah.
on the length of the part, I'll bring that up.
This copy, it sounds.
It is. Basically, they went through the presentation for the public that you saw 2 weeks ago. Hey Cindy, does Gary know how to run the photocopier?
What are we waiting on? You waiting on Gary?
Yeah, he's doing giving us some findings of facts.
Get a full site plan. Yeah.
You should be able to find it.
Dig one out. Just those first ones, they usually pre-fill, right, which are the owner, what the
Town
property is
built
being, the zone it's in and so forth, we know that.
Right.
So, I think once we get one, it'll be pretty easy to walk through it.
Just had a few questions.
It really is not a change of use. being used the same as what it was, recreation,
Yeah.
parking.
It's repair. If it was a house, we wouldn't even put a permit for it. If it was a house, we wouldn't even put a permit for it. It'd be repairs.
Right, maintenance.
Maintenance.
Yeah.
Not expanding the footprint,
Yeah, putting a new roof on or, you just,
No, I don't think so.
But now, I mean, one of the exciting things about this, those who are able to take the opportunity to help improve
some of the
safety
other
of the area and
stuff.
then the water quality coming into the lake. Because right now, there's nothing, it's just running off that road into catch basins and piped right out to the lake.
it'll help in that small section of a much larger.
Well,
area.
for
Sure,
anybody
sure.
walking
But,
from,
I mean, adjacent to
all
our
the salt
project
water.
area,
But,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of the salt, that's where it runs.
And it actually collects when you.
Huge cemetery that runs right towards that.
And so you actually look at the huge watershed that we did end up catching, the area that we would have been required if DEP required it would have been 50%. We're treating 47% already of their whole watershed area that runs to that spot. So we're giving a really large, robust treatment system to that portion of the lake.
Because the road goes all the way around. It's a
Yeah,
pond
and,
road and.
yeah, you have to trace
Well,
the whole way, there's a bunch of neighborhoods
If
that
you want to
went
fix that
through.
too, we can help.
That's a whole lot of handrails.
Handrails on that.
and there is,
Couple miles of handrails.
Lots of
and
curves,
there are
lots of-
those handrails, the steel ones going right along the sidewalk and see, and this'll be nice because the sidewalk coming along from where you approach the dam, if you're coming from the monument, the square,
Right.
Did you say there's gonna be sidewalks, huh?
it'll be a
Yeah.
much
Oh, I don't like that.
better, safer walkway
We'll work
That's
the
snow
end.
removal.
to get there.
That's gonna be more snow removal for me, so.
I'm over
Really?
that.
No,
How long is the
no.
rail section?
I just.
It goes all the way along there, doesn't it? Pretty much, yeah, yeah. Which is good it does, 'cause that's a heck of a drop, you know?
Yeah, that
Well,
is.
I
don't think any
They
kids are
don't
gonna,
jump off. the
they,
road,
I haven't seen one
But
do
they
that
do
yet.
go to the other side and look in, I will tell you.
I just want to skip that.
Skip it to.
The other,
Shoot.
What side did we not get? 16,
I
7?
got it. Oh, yeah, it ends at 5. But
Filling 1 through 5, and we start with 6. 6 is 4. Will not be started at least for public water.
2 and 4 is all.
I got 2 and 4. I know 2 and then 5. I think mine's a complete guess.
3.
Okay, I know. Just gonna go to conclusions.
Yeah.
Mine is.
Mine is all here.
You got it all?
Well, I stayed
I have it on
there.
my phone.
Here's some,
This is 1, 3,
Cindy.
5, it skips 2 and 4.
Yeah, make it warmer.
Cindy, here's some extras.
Is there another extra one?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
So you're over it double sided.
It looks really nice.
Do you want one too?
I'm good.
So what are you
that
gonna
one
ruin it?
is.
Who's the-
Is that what you need to know?
No, I'm good.
You're good?
I'll-
Yes, that's, yeah.
Right, we're good.
Conclusions. Under Article 6 of the zoning ordinance, number 1, preservation of the existing landscape.
I make a motion that the applicant meets A1, preservation of the existing landscape, because the carbon footprint will not be unchanged, or will be unchanged, and they will use best common practices during construction. Second that.
Comments or questions? All those in favor? Unanimous. Number 2, relation of the proposed buildings to the environment and neighboring buildings.
Make a motion that they meet,
Not applicable, no buildings.
gosh, let me finish my sentence.
Yeah, and they,
Sorry, Kyle.
Pump house?
Oh, no,
existing,
Existing.
but it,
Existing. You guys got this.
I make a motion that, number 2, relation to proposed buildings to the environment and to neighboring buildings, does meet the review standards because of the improved
Access.
access to the public, to the pump house, and also shoring up that area of erosion.
Second.
But they're also not blocking the view.
And not blocking.
Back to neighboring buildings, so they're.
And there's no view to be blocked.
Sensitive to the landscaping, so that it doesn't block the view.
And the views won't be blocked.
Did you make a second, Ben, or not?
I didn't second, I
I
added
did.
his,
Oh,
he seconded.
okay. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Unanimous? 3, vehicular access.
I make a motion that we pass 3 vehicular access and 4 parking and circulation as they will remain unchanged or improved.
Second.
Comments? All those in favor for 3 and 4? Unanimous? 5, surface water drainage.
Make a motion that the applicant meets the review standard for surface water drainage as best construction practices would be utilized.
We're also improving the drainage treatment.
Right.
Treatment
Oh,
of
that's true too,
the
yes.
water,
Runoff.
treatment of the runoff.
I'll second that with the addition.
Any other comments? All those in favor? Unanimous? Utilities.
Make a motion that 6 and 7 are not applicable because they're impeached.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor? Unanimous? Special features.
Would you like me to read what it says?
What do you got?
Special features, number 8, exposed storage areas, exposed machinery, installations, service areas, truck loading areas, utility buildings, structures and similar accessory areas, and structures shall be subject to such setbacks, screen plantings, or other screening methods as shall reasonably be required to prevent their being incongruous with the existing or contemplated environment and the surrounding properties.
I make a motion that special features does meet the review standard because best construction practices will be utilized, and also with working with Public Works to ensure that staging is in the proper location.
Second.
Well, I'd include the fact that concrete steps replacing the aluminum steps. Is
Oh, that would be on the spec, yeah.
a big improvement.
That we're gonna have, and also that there's gonna be better access to the
Better
water.
access.
Community impact,
Yep.
whichever.
Yep.
Any other comments? All those in favor?
Seconded it.
I did.
Okay.
9 is exterior lighting.
Meets a review standard, it's not applicable.
Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Emergency vehicle access.
Meets a review standard. I make a motion that it meets a review standards and will remain unchanged.
Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Unanimous?
I make a motion that landscaping does meet this review standard because they're gonna be using best practices once again, and there's also gonna be additional, including the drainage system on the trees and whatnot, that'll be much improved from where it currently stands.
Second.
Comments?
I have a comment. On this map that you showed us, for 2, it says Acer rubrum, which means red maple. We had discussed that we don't want any plants that exceed a certain height at that spot. Red maples do grow.
Yes, we're gonna work with the landscape architect during the construction drawings to incorporate that to not be a tall bush.
So it
Yep.
wouldn't necessarily be a red maple. It's not gonna be,
Correct,
okay,
yeah.
perfect. Then that's my motion.
And you seconded it. Any comments? All those in favor? Unanimous. Fire protection.
I say 12, fire protection meets the standard, it is not applicable.
And second.
Comments? All those in favor? Unanimous. Solid waste.
Motion that solid waste does meet this review standard because it is not applicable.
It's unchanged.
Unchanged, unchanged.
We're still gonna have
Unchanged.
trash cans.
Second.
We need those, yeah.
Any other comments? All those in favor? Unanimous? Community impact.
Make a motion that meets review standard be vastly improved for the community for access as well as for the environment.
Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Unanimous? Water supply.
Make a motion that water supply does meet its review standard because it's gonna provide less pollution into our water and provide access to our pump station.
Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Unanimous? Erosion control.
I think both 16, 17, and 18 fall under the best construction practices used.
Second.
Any comments on those three articles? All those in favor? Unanimous?
Make a motion that shoreline protection does meet this review standard because they are gonna be working with Army Corps of Engineers and DEP to gain the proper permitting and use best practices to prevent the shoreline from being damaged.
Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Unanimous? Floodplain protection?
You could probably just about do that for floodplain too.
Make
Yeah.
a motion that floodplain protection does meet this review standards because they'll be working with Army Corps of Engineers and DEP to get proper permitting and use best practices.
Second.
Any other comments? All those in favor? Unanimous? Performance standards.
Bill always has the list of those.
Would you like to know what that is?
Yes,
Performance
please.
standard, lots of lists. All performance standards, and here they are. Need a particular location for proposed development, access to the site from existing or proposed roads, the location of the site with respect to floodplains and floodways of rivers and streams, the amount and type of waste to be generated by the proposed development, and adequacy of the proposed disposal systems, the impact of the proposed development on the land and adjacent water bodies, and the capability of the land and water to sustain such development without degradation, existing topography and drainage features, and vegetative cover on the site, the erosion potential of the site based upon degree and direction of the slope, soil type, and vegetative cover, the impact of the proposed development on transportation facilities, the impact of proposed development on local population and community facilities, the impact of the proposed development on local water supplies, and last, the amount of dust, noise, smoke, or odors detectable at the lot line.
It's a mouthful, huh?
I don't
Takes a second.
I don't know about the rest of the board, but I almost feel like we covered
I
almost
think
all
we've
of that
covered
and
everything that's
everything.
pertinent.
Has lots to do
Not
with
applicable,
erosion
not
control.
applicable.
I second Ben's motion.
Make a motion that that's not applicable. Because it's covered under all of the other, the points of concern are covered in the other paragraphs.
Not applicable, or
Or
does
SMEs,
meet-
SME
Meets
will
requirements
be
because they're covered
provided.
under the other
Yeah,
paragraphs.
I would say that, yeah.
Yeah, it's better.
I second that.
Okay, any other comments? All those in favor?
Who seconded that?
Bill?
Let's see. Any other applicable standards?
Make a motion for number one. Does meet the review standards. This is gonna be, pass off. Oh, sorry, I was in the wrong one. Top. You're up. I was talking about the DEP permits and stuff like that.
You probably should put that under conditions of approval.
Okay, yeah. I was looking at the wrong.
This has to do with the tables,
This is
really.
the
Table A, table
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was looking at
I
the wrong
think
one.
we're.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything.
Yeah.
in the tables to do.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's
Haven't
a
already covered.
recreational,
Right, I don't think there's any other applicable standards.
Not for this, no.
Okay. I make a motion that
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3 are not applicable.
Second.
Any other comments? All those in favor? Unanimous? Conditions of approval.
Just a minute.
I make a motion that condition 3, approval of this permit, that they need to have their
The other thing that
as well as any company.
hasn't happened yet is you've got to work with the town and iron out, you know, lay down
Locations for
areas,
radar, yeah.
Construction details.
time, yeah.
That could be in your, kind of like a
On number
performance
two,
standard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Good
motion
interaction.
under number 2, that any major changes or drastic changes in the final packet be presented to the planning board prior to approval, and that all permits necessary from state, local, and Army Corps of Engineers for number 3. Is a building permit needed for this?
No.
Great, perfect, that's my motion.
No.
Okay, so.
Who decides whether it needs to come back to the planning board? Who should we have decide that?
Probably the chair.
If,
Or the
if
Gary
one
should.
comes
If
back,
anything needs to come back to the planning board, if they make any changes that should come back, I don't know that they would, but who should make that decision? The select board?
Probably.
How would the select board even know? Could Gary be
Well, they
notified?
gotta approve the.
Gary will be
Gary would get
closest to the project,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, for the
Probably Gary.
town, right?
Yes.
So,
Between Gary or maybe Public Works, you know, John, right?
I'm sure the town.
Or maybe name them both, I mean,
No, that's what
in
I
case you're on vacation or he's on vacation.
Okay, that'd be done. All right, I'm gonna redo this whole thing. So, any project that is changed will be presented to the planning board through Gary, and then a decision needs to be made on the planning board's part. We make it through that process.
We present it to Gary, Gary will decide.
Present it to Gary if it's important.
Gary will decide if it needs to come to the planning board. That's fair.
Yeah. And then, of course, the permits, local, town, and Army Corps of Engineers.
Yep.
That's my,
Second.
Any other comments? All those in favor? Unanimous? So,
Make a motion to approve the plan.
okay,
Second.
comments? All those in favor? Perfect. Unanimous. So,
Thank you.
your permit is granted. It takes us, at our next meeting, we will sign. We don't have to be here for that, but Gary will be in touch with you once it is finalized.
And it's finalized basically tonight.
Yes.
The next meeting will just be a formality.
Formality, yep, yep.
Excellent.
Very nice.
Safe travels home.
That's good
Thanks.
stuff.
Yeah.
thanks for all your work.
Yes,
guys.
drive safe, yeah.
Enjoy the warm weather. Deer.
I don't know how warm it is.
Three forums coming up here, crossing the road right in the middle of, Kate's on.
Yeah, there was like 6 or 7 deer running up to your public works area if anyone's a hunter.
Really? Season's over.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've been crossing from Hiawatha and then across 156.
There's 6 of them that hang out in my backyard.
Mike, if you didn't feed them, they wouldn't hang out.
Well, then I wouldn't see them. They've eaten all my pumpkins.
Well, it hit our hostas pretty hard.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Supposed to be deer resistant.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Very much,
You
guys.
bet.
Appreciate you.
So for the rest of you, if you were here for that portion of the meeting, this is a good time for you to leave, but you're more than welcome to stay. We've got just one item for future business, and then we will conclude. So Gary, you can take away the future business.
Future business, Mac Adams, as he's planning on purchasing 625 Main Street, which is the old Keen's gas station at Market.
Is that Fatty McGee's? Is that what you're talking
No.
about?
Right
next
to the bank.
Right next
Right,
to
right
next
next
to
to
Franklin
He still
State.
has, yeah, right, okay. Yes, I do.
McGovern signs were hung on.
On the left, if you're heading towards the monument,
Yes.
or heading towards
Yes.
the, yeah.
Yes, he's in the beginning planning process, trying to get a package together to bring it to us. He wants to, the tanks that have been the issue with this property forever have been removed. But the UST report states if tanks are
Replaced.
replaced,
Yeah.
then DEP would have to come and check to see if the soil has to be removed and to what extent.
Guaranteed.
Yes.
Pretty big risk for him.
I don't know,
Yeah.
was there leaking gasoline
No,
originally?
very minimal. Very minimal. That's why when it was first discovered, they were not made to take out soil then. They just removed the tanks, disposed of them, and filled it back in. But that was the condition.
What is the definition of a freelancing business?
Well, that's a good question. I don't really know. What he wants to do is have like a community development area, like the career center, where the career center doesn't help, to help out after that, and make it like a town community.
Is it a co-op type thing, or?
Or more like a headhunter. Is it like the thing down in Farmington, like the,
Workspace,
what's it called, CES?
yeah, the workspace.
Entrepreneurial.
Yeah, the entrepreneur, Center for Entrepreneurial Studies.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that something like that?
Workspace too, I
There's a
think you're talking about.
Work
the
safe
down by
is the
Maine-
big- yeah.
Main Street Cafe.
Yes, and he also wants to put in tanks for distribution, delivered,
So there's
Fuel
no
oil.
pumps. This is for fuel oil?
yes.
Above ground
Only
tanks?
above ground.
He's talking above ground at one point. You know, he's just in the beginning stages of this. I told him he's gonna have to have a
You'd have to put a
complete
plan
package.
together and
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Yes,
With the details,
with details,
yeah.
yeah.
Because that property
Right
probably
next
goes
to
back
the
into the
river.
floodplain of the stream.
And it's not a very big footprint.
Oh,
It's,
yeah, it's not much property,
I
yeah.
wanna say it's it's 0.26
2
acres
acre,
or
yeah.
point,
Quarter of an acre?
yeah, it's
Quarter
not,
acre.
yeah.
Well, is
That
that-
And-
property's been vacant for 27 years.
It's been vacant
It
for a
has,
long
yeah.
time.
Right.
Right, and it's in close proximity to the stream.
Yep.
So above-ground tanks
Yeah.
would be,
Probably better.
yeah,
And there's a large ravine just on the other side of that parking lot, between that parking lot and the rental.
yeah, you
There's
know,
a huge ravine there.
Yeah,
Franklin,
drops off
Franklin
Yeah.
Savings Bank owns in back Keens.
quick.
Yeah, they own the whole property.
They're the ones that
They
own
own
around.
the stream.
Yes,
Yeah, because Mike's driveway. is-
right.
Yeah.
He's also talking about purchasing property on US Route 2. That is another issue. Two properties, Paul Besar owns, map 28, lot 36 and 37. 37 is in back of 36.
Is that next to Canatopia?
Yeah, it's next to, no, it's
It's on the other side of the
Next to
street,
Dunkin',
right?
by,
Where the
kind of
store
behind the
used to
Big
be.
Apple, actually.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
right
And he's
here
got
where they're
one.
building.
That's
The
It
new
wraps around
Dunkin'.
the Dunkin', right?
Yeah.
Like the one that says the for sale sign right next to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes,
And then it
that's
wraps
it.
behind it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and half of that land is resource protection, the back
The other
lot.
side of the.
Back lot is actually on the other side of the trail, the rail trail.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's all resource protection,
Right.
but he's got quite a bit of that other, where the lion sale is is.
Yeah, but that's
Some
not
is-
part of 36.
No,
36
that's
is a
another
small-
one. Is he trying to
Yeah.
sell that one now too?
Who owns that? The-
Paul
where-
Besar,
Where the lions are too?
yeah.
Oh. His father did.
Yes.
But it's in the early stages.
Yeah.
He knows he needs a complete package.
Is he a local guy?
I don't know.
When I first read this, I thought maybe they were reversed and it was Adam Mack.
That was the old Forester mill, and then we actually
Yeah, yeah.
changed the zoning to make it downtown village, so if he wanted to put some apartments in the building, and
Yeah,
That's
when
not-
the town ended up having to get $400,000 to tear the main place down.
yeah. But he's working
Nah,
on putting together a package.
Okay.
One other thing.
Anything else?
Yes. If nothing comes up from here to next Friday, cancel the meeting, the next meeting, and meet in January instead, where it's around Christmas holiday?
It's okay with me.
We have to, is it gonna affect our, what we did tonight, though, for signing and all that?
No, we'll be here on the 9th, right?
Well, yeah, next week, we got our training,
Yeah.
so.
Oh, well, maybe not.
I was so looking to.
Don't hurt my
3 hours.
Right.
They said the training was full, we're on a waiting list, and they'll let us know
When they can get around to it
if we
again.
can get in it. But you're all registered.
Yes.
I can't make that date anyway because of the time. It's
Right.
the school board meeting, but thank you.
So that's
So
still.
we've gotta wait and see,
So we're
even
gonna-
Yeah.
though
You just
the
gonna email us?
deadline we met,
Just send out an
they're
email.
full already.
Okay?
So we
Make
may not
everybody's
meet
okay.
the night.
Yep, that's okay too.
Yeah. Well, if you know
Anything
ahead-
else?
Well, if you know ahead of time, you know, we can make adjustments.
Maria, did you want to bring up maybe changing the planning board meeting time?
I think it's late for you guys to all be here, and I know that your meetings last longer, typically on average maybe an hour and a half. It's a pretty late night for you all, and especially staff, town office staff, so I think you guys should consider maybe 6 o'clock, but I don't know how that interferes with your outside lives, so, work lives and all your other commitments. But you should consider that. It's a recommendation.
It's been considered.
It's been
It's
considered.
been considered.
It's been considered, but
I'm just kidding.
Site
Actually-
visits, when we have to schedule site visits
We
for
go
5 or
earlier.
6 o'clock,
Mhm.
and then come into meeting, that's part of the reason that we have had it at a later time.
How
is so
often
that
do
we
you
can
do
have-
site visits?
In the past, it had been quite often,
Mhm.
but not recently.
It's slowed
Oh,
down.
if you get
Slowed
Slowed
down,
down.
yeah.
The last
one
was
every 2
months ago.
months, it's a lot.
I will tell you
Yeah.
all, I've been here since about 2020. There was one night, my first year, I was here, we were here till like 10 o'clock.
That's late.
Yeah, it is.
It might have been the marina.
Well, maybe
I think
we
it was
could put it.
Must have been Marina.
I make
Marina
on the
Band.
agenda to discuss.
Probably, yeah, it was.
I make a motion that we put our meeting times on the next agenda for our next meeting, so we can have a full discussion. Parker's not here, so we'll try and make.
That's a smart
That's,
thing.
Yep.
yeah.
I could use a second.
I second.
Under consideration.
All those in
So,
favor?
thank you.
Make a
Yep.
motion to adjourn.
Who made the second?
Kyle?